not liking the transition again. Oh, let it survive, there we go. Hello and welcome back. Hope everyone's had a good day so far and I hope everyone had a good weekend. Oh. I'm still playing around the layout of the stream, but you'll also notice that the background's slightly different. I alluded to this a little bit on Twitter, but yeah, there's been some move around at the house that I'm in, and now my bedroom and office are separate, which is a hallelujah moment. And now I have a lot more space to work with, to kind of design around. So now, fling this way, there's a little coffee table behind me. And overall, if I grab the thing, you'll see way more, oh, dirty dishes. But yeah, way more space around here. So that's going to get filled up as time goes on. But for now, I'm actually quite happy with this setup. And also, funnily enough, that was the wall we were against before, now we're against the other wall. Gotta spruce things up every once in a while, right? But yeah, no, I hope everyone's had a good day so far. So, this weekend has been an interesting one for programming. I got a lot of work done. A lot of work done. Now, you might wonder, what work have I gotten done? Let's narrow it down to some of the ideas that I've been having. So, we have, on stream, we've been playing quite a bit of the new Anima Squad Swarm game mode that League released, which I have been waiting expectantly for since it was announced, purely because I could see it as a great opportunity to see what a large development studio would do with the idea of this. So it begs the question, what did we take away? So I've written up a bunch of learnings, and then I've written up a bunch of notes towards this game that I want to approach, at least the guaranteed ones for now, and then the potential ones later if we have more time. So please understand, there are some ideas that are limited to pure and simply maybes. Not any guarantees, there are some ideas that will be maybes, and we will see. Now, on the surface, the game hasn't actually changed all that much. Sort of. And that's because I've disabled most of the things that have changed. Because I haven't fully implemented them. And that's one of the big things we're going to work on today. So if I pull up my little list of things that I'm noting around, there is, let's see, what is the ones that we're going to have to do? Okay, so funnily enough, this is something that League, I want to point out, there is a lot of reworks that I had thought about doing or reversions to some code that I've thought about for a very long time, but just never had a good enough reason to do so. But now with the learnings that I've written out, I can convince myself of it. So a big thing in the game as it currently stands is that technically the player isn't moving. Right, this has been a big discussion that we've had a few times. So if we actually go into the game, you'll see that everything moves, but that's not quite right. And it's because we're doing something that is slightly unique. Well, it's not unique. It's done a lot of game design and programming under the hood, but it was something that it made sense for what we were doing. I'll show the game quickly first, and then we'll play around with that idea of what is changed. Preferably not a quick start, just because it's going to thing. So you see, the background is moving. And then these things are moving. Right. So, but the player is staying in the center. Well, your assumption is that the player is moving around and things are getting moved accordingly. However, and this is where we start showing code, if we go into the main controller, in the step event here, you'll see that this is where the movement input system is done. And what's actually being done is that all other instances and objects and the background are being moved according to the player. So the player actually isn't moving the entire time. The world is moving around it. Now this is a good system. This has enabled a lot of tricks and techniques. Sending some positive vibes, thank you. But yeah, so this is a fairly common technique. However, due to some of the changes that we'll be doing, I'm going to be reverting this back to player moved and the rest of the world isn't. That is going to be the big change. But, you know, thank you for the little raid. Very much appreciated. But yeah, so we're going to be changing this back. Now, why are we changing this back? Doesn't this mean that the infinite world technique is going to not work anymore? And that's kind of the point. One of the learnings I've put forward on the from the swarm thing, and this is a learning that I've had from several games, but it's one that I've never been able to conclude what is the right answer for. So I do hope that this is going to make more sense as we go. Why am I so echoey today? Potentially because there's a lot less in the room. So I might need to play around with my audio settings. Because yeah, again, I was mentioning earlier, rooms have been moved around a little bit. This is still the same room, but I've moved to the other side and the bed is no longer in here. So there's a lot more empty space. Show him the chair. I mean, the chair's actually not wearing their robe today, so the chair's a bit naked. So I'm going to stay in front of the chair. Because the chair is shy. What is chair summer? Chair summer is... You can see a chair summer just behind me there. It's the, like, secret, actual, interesting streamer. Yeah, Nezuko's actually in the other room now. It's gonna be... Gotta get used to, like, the rooms being split up a little bit more. Because, yeah, no longer bedroom and office. It's office, and then that room there is bedroom. It's nice. Been having much more relaxing sleep over the last 2 nights while I've had that. But yeah, so let me show quickly something that I have done. So you'll see that there is 2 new tile maps here. So if I enable these, you'll see there's a map. How is Doctor? Doctor is sitting on my lap. And he is quite happy right now. Isn't he? I can probably... There he is. So yeah, we've got that going. So we're going to be changing this to now being player specific. Microphone jump scare, yeah. So how does this get moved to player? I think... So the most interesting part of this is these are going to have to go. So I'm going to have to take this. And we're going to just add that there. Now we're going to have this stuff here. And this move X is going to replace here. Move Y is going to replace this one. I see you're hyper-focused today. Well, you should have seen me this weekend. Like, that's why I say, like, so there is a lot of things going on that I'm gonna be working on today. I do apologize that I seem hyper-focused. I am paying attention to the chat, and I'm reacting as best I can. Thank you, thank you very much for the well wishes and for the raid, Sickles. Very fun name. And I very much appreciate it. So if I do all this, okay, so does this just work? That is the first question. Is nobody in chat today? Oh, not so far. I mean, we've only been going for like 15 minutes. Ooh, very fast and nippy. Interesting. Oh yeah, because technically we were already doing that before. Interesting. Ah, yes, the camera isn't designed to update with the position currently, is it? Yeah. Okay, so a few positional datas need to be changed to being updated in real time. That's fine. Here comes the vibes, or what's up? You getting followed? Oh no. Thank you very much. Okay, so place meeting, when colliding, stop movement on collide. Collision tiles, so I'll need to do something about that. That's fine. Okay, so yeah, this is where the movement is, so we're going to disable this part as well. How's my day going? It's been going well so far. To be fair, it has only just started, so there is that. Collision parent. Oh, I believe I can make that an array, can't I? So this can be an array, and I can put in like this. I think that works. Again, so this is a process of undoing a lot of things. Yep, that works. which is going to be the fun part of all of this. Every raid expands this Malith cinematic universe. Yeah, pretty much. Will increase the power that we have. How long is this song? The song is 1.5 minutes and it is ending now. Or is it? Seems like it's repeating. Yeah, why is it repeating? I thought I told you to pull from the folder. Okay, I will admit that that was a fault on my part. Why is this not pulling from the folder like it normally does? It never ends, pretty much. Okay, yeah, it's not pulling from the folder at the moment. No, 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 that's not what we want. Okay, give me a moment. See what I can do about sorting this out, because that was actually very strange. Music? No. Where is the music? Right, Control C, Control V. Come on, where is it? Is that not working? Yeah, I did hear the doo-doo-doo as well. Come on. I think I need to go here. And then where is music? Playlists? Copy. Paste. And then music. Windows Media Player? No. I'm so confused by this. Is this not where I'm supposed to be putting it? No, 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 that's attached there. Okay. God damn it. Why can't I get, like, an additional thing? I swear this worked before. Did it not? Do I need to refresh this? Username holds true. Which username? Oh, I think I've got it. Also, hello cat. Shuffle and play. There we go. I've somehow duplicated the track though. Okay, so, god damn it. No, cat. Please, work with me a little bit. Okay, so if I go to music, I don't know why it's duplicated. I will sort that out later. Alright. That was an experience. Okay, okay, so that should fix the player not looking like they're actually running. Yep, player runs, player collides. They do move inside of the menu, which is interesting. I know exactly why, but I'll have to fix that later. Because we have that one bit of code. Yeah. So we have to put in. Oh, hey, vendor. Okay, so O menu is not equal. I would need to look up all of the things, won't I? It's yeah, so it's menu. Hello from the other side. So I just realized this is very loud, isn't it? Comparatively. There we go. Alright. Okay, so actually, it's probably going to be easier to just do equals lobby or O menu equals menu dot playing, I think it is. So now it shouldn't have any issues with pausing. Or like freezing the movement. Yep, it's not moving while that's going. Is moving now, not moving again. This should be, there we go. But if I do this, not moving. Awesome. So if I run further up, these are gonna have, yeah, issues. So we need to... Why are you up there? That's interesting. I'll need to figure out that. Okay. I'm actually really happy with the small amount, like the large amount of progress we've made in just a small amount of time. So there is a few reasonings, by the way, as to what we're doing with this. There is some overarching things that we're going to potentially have to interact with when we get further along. That's going to cause even more reworks. But that is feature creep that I have been well and truly reminded by my friend not to do until we can guarantee the release of the game. Because at this stage in time, we're already delaying the game's release quite a bit by just the fact that I haven't done art for it. Time to rework the entire game. It kind of is like that. I'm not gonna lie. You have no idea some of the machinations that I have towards some of the changes that might come. Okay, so we have corrected player movement to the new system. Or, again, this is the confusing part. Technically, we've reverted it. This is old code, or like what we used to do originally. So things have changed. Because yeah, the player is going to go back to handling a lot of things itself. That is the intention. In fact, on the create event, there is some prep for some stuff that I'm going to be doing later. Okay, so now we need to correctly assess. So would it be, is it part of enemy? Like it would be the controller? How do I detect the thing? Your people need you. Have fun with that. How do I detect the space? It should be here. Yeah, so these global settings are not getting changed. And then... yeah. Depth equals one. Yeah. Okay. So, what we need to do is we need to change in the player after movement. Okay, so here's after movement. We need to move the, actually, no, it's probably best to be done in the camera. So again, there's probably some legacy code for this. Right? Surely. Oh, this seems correct. Oh. That should fix that. Oh, cats, I swear. Okay, let's see if this makes this better. So that's still a bit weird, but if we just keep running up... No. Yeah, something's weird. Okay. That is very weird. Um... Hmm. Okay, what I'm gonna have to potentially do is do a draw event to see what these values are. So it is gonna be all of these. Sure. Because I want to see if these values are not correct. It's almost like I'm not inside of the thing. So this doesn't seem incorrect. So... Sorry for the flashbang, but this guarantees that I'm seeing what I'm wanting to see. Yeah, no, that looks like it guarantees what I'm wanting to see. But... why is viewport visible? It's almost like the camera is not actually being updated correctly. Why would this not be working? Do I need to do this? Or have I hard-coded too much things about a stagnant system? Because that's always possible. Because it's almost like I'm going out of a render space. Oh, you know what it fucking is. I can't believe I forgot about that. Because it'll be me going outside of this space. So this is kind of why we're probably going to move to a more set map, by the way, is like, this is a very, very, like, shitty, quick design that I've done here. This took me, like, minutes, and already this is a pretty adequate amount of space, I would argue. Not quite enough, I'd probably say, like, I could easily double this, and it'd be the, like, actual map area. But the fact that, like, this is not a bad amount of space, and it means I can do more, like, targeted design in it. There's one thing I want to set up for, and we'll probably work on that as well a bit later. But there's a lot of things that we're going to be changing very shortly. I need to fix that though. Okay. So it wasn't anything to do with this then. It was just pure and simply I didn't realize I was going outside of the camera space. Because if we re-enable those and we go into here, I bet we'll see it on the outside. Because it's also, it might be getting moved still. But yeah, there you go, see? It seems to have fucked with the player model. So we are going to have to make some harder rules around that. That's fine. Hello, player. Alright, so we're gonna have to probably make some hard spawn things, but that's kind of one of the things I've already started prepping for, is map spawner. So we're gonna actually change this to spawner, spawner parent. And then we're gonna make some spawners based off of this. So we're going to make, let's see, because it's under map, I believe, or rooms. Yeah, spawner parent. So I'm actually going to make probably do we want to make another file for map-based things? Yeah. Map. Hearts. So that's going to be this, this, and this. Go into map parts as well as shrines. And then in here, let's make a group for spawners. And then we're going to create an object. This is going to be O spawner layer. It's going to get the parent of O spawner parent. Again, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to need the parent, but I'm just doing that as a safety net. To be fair, these are probably just going to be like objects, and that's it. They're not going to actually be anything. So then we go to instances, assets, spawner, player, and we just dump it in the center here. And then in here, I'm also going to do a spawn player just in the center here as well. And then I'm going to go to the controller main. For now, it's going to be in the controller main. So we're gonna run this little bit of code here. So this should resolve that issue. And now we start in the center, end run. Now we're not. It does exist. Is it not persistent? Is that the issue? No, it's because if it's persistent, I think it should be respawned every time you go to that room, right? Oh, because that's if it doesn't exist. That would explain it. Let's try that now. Boom. So collision tiles should be set in here to be the collision tiles in this one. I'm pretty sure I copy and pasted this as well. Pretty sure that's the text I need for it. Yeah. Oh, it's because it's on create. So it might not exist initially. So I'm going to then go to the controller and do it here for now. We'll probably have a better sort out for that, but this will work for now. So this should mean that now if I collide with here, I can't go any further. So now we're actually locked within the play area. Awesome. Oh, massive development. I'm actually really happy with that. Cool. So what I am seeing though is that the map needs to be larger, but that's something that we can sort out later. The other thing I want to do is I want to create a clamp for the camera so it stays on the edges, so it doesn't like go off screen. Just as a security thing for me. I'll also have to make all sorts of other clamps, but there's another reason why, again, we're going to be using spawners a lot now, to make things easier on us. One of the spawners I actually want to probably do, and I'm just going to create it now. Is the O spawner enemy unit. So let's just pull up paint and kind of discuss what's going to change when it comes to how enemies are spawned. Again, this is something that's a little bit based off a few different games at this point, but I hate that I keep coming back to it, but like the appreciation of League's Swarm mode for kind of showing me how that stuff does actually matter and there's a value to it. So currently what we have is that, say, this is the camera, and what it will do is it will kind of spawn anywhere in this, on like this kind of line here. Right, so this is the camera. And that's the spawning. So this is good and bad for a few reasons. Because we're also going to be having enemies off screen, this like they could potentially spawn off screen and stuff like that. We're also considering adding collision detection and pathing to the enemies. So they will, just as a little example down here, say this is a wall here, we're here. So that's the player here, and this is the enemy unit. They're going to just hit this wall and fail if we have collision on. At the moment, it will just pass through. What we want is for them to kind of walk around to get to the player. But because we're going to be adding this, we can't have them spawning outside of the arena. So what instead we're going to be doing is that, say this is the camera again. We're going to have the player here, and then there's going to be invisible spots around the place that the enemies can spawn. And what we will have is a minimum radius as well. That means that this can't spawn. However, then it will check where's the closest 3 outside of this range. So it'll be this one, and this one. And it will spawn the totaling amount of enemies it needs to split between these spawners. So this means the reasoning why we have this is because we could have a wall here to make it look like they're coming out of the wall or out of a cave or something like that. This is rationale that Soulstone Survivors uses, and I always kind of liked it, but I just didn't really feel a good way of making it fit. This is also what Swarm uses, though not quite the same. And this rationale is why I'm like, this seems nice to me, because it means I can basically grid format it is the main thing. I'll probably do it on a grid for the beginning of it, and then I will alter it based off of that grid. Going like, well, I can't obviously have one here because this is off collision point, so get rid of that one. Oh, this, like this wall is only partway here and there's a collision thing here. Well, we might as well have it over here instead. Move it to there. If that makes a bit of sense. All of this is actually relatively easy to implement, because we actually have systems that can be hijacked for this, because it's kind of in a sense almost what they were for, was creating spawn points, spawn circles, all sorts of these sorts of things. So this is the big thing that we're going to be working on with this. So this is what we're going to move to from what we have here. This gives me a lot more assurity of how I can actually structure the system. It gives me a lot more power over balance as well, because I could increase the amount of spawn points to increase the amount of fluctuation in what you actually interact with, or I could reduce the amount of spawn points so you know where they are easier and you can learn from that. We will still probably have like some spawn points off camera that can trigger, just so you're not getting only on screen. Just to like still give a bit of an illusion, because like if they only spawn on top of you, they'll feel a bit shit. But we will have like a maximum reach as well. So say if it's outside of this, well, that's a bit much, but fuck, it gives an idea. But if a spawner is over here, this is going to be ignored. So we've got to add a lot of things. So there's one other thing that we need to add, because we're going to be having this thing here, right? Is that we need to probably add a nav mesh system. And how a nav mesh works is it basically is, so say this is our room. I don't quite like that line. I don't quite like that this is on an angle, but it's gonna have, actually a regular shape works. So say this is our room. It's a weird shape. What a nav mesh is going to do is it's going to basically fill out this area with a bunch of shapings, like squares and such, to figure out all of the space, and it will from there be able to figure out path points. And it means that it can correctly avoid corners. That will be what we're going to do. I know this image is not very great. It's just very terrible. But it is going to be something we're going to work on. There is going to be a long task of this getting done. This is not something that's going to be easy to do. There's a lot of aspects of this that has a lot of problems. But we'll work on them. I'm hoping from this, it's going to show how much shit I did over the weekend in terms of research, in terms of preparation for this, all sorts. The stuff isn't stuff that gets done overnight. But I almost made it happen like that way. Be thankful, again, there is one thing, so I'm going to talk on this because I'm going to only talk on it. So the biggest feature creep, I talked a bit about it actually on Friday, is how much I would like to now make this game compatible to a cooperative environment. So more than one player can play in a group at a time. However, there is a lot of complications with this. I can probably resolve most of them. However, that's where like that joke about like, oh, is the entire thing's gonna get reworked? It's, yeah, actually the whole game might have to be reworked. And that's where some of these reworks are going. Is that they're better systems, better improvement overall to what we want to do. Gives me a lot more control over what's actually happening in the game. So I can design it a bit more meticulously. And it means that if I want to make it cooperative, I can. So there is a few things that are also going to have to change for that. I'm not sure I'm going to get into a lot of this today because I'm also really, really tired. While I've had better sleep recently, I'm also been working pretty aggressively on this. As my friend said, I've been thrashing myself a lot with it. Through the weekend, he did nothing because his kiwis were hungry. Not quite, but... No, I genuinely, this weekend was a rough one for working on this. I did a lot of asset stuff as well. So let's go back a few steps and work on some of the reworks that we were doing before this egregious change. So we'll look at player characters and kind of design around that. So how's the rework planning? A lot of reworking. Again, I'm avoiding stepping too far though. That is my big thing, and I'm appreciative to my friend for helping me convince myself not to make the game multiplayer over the weekend. You do not want to know how bad I would look right now if I went for that approach. I already look bad enough. But yeah, so we've been working on the weapons, items, and now character reworks as well as we've been going. We're gonna have to work on these. Currently learning on how to do vehicles in Godot. That'd be interesting. I mean, do I want to do something like a vehicle? I'm probably never going to do a vehicle. Actually, I could do a vehicle system. Very loose system. Oh, because that'd be useful for doing those. We'll see. We'll see. Come here, cat. Your nose is not running. This one has been causing me no end of trouble because since the rooms got moved around, she's struggled with getting reorientated. So she has gone to the wrong places a few times. It's okay though, I think she's good now. Okay. Oh, so what does the new character constructor look like? I need to actually have a look at it. I Thinking of making something like Gran Turismo 1 or an earlier farming simulators. Oh, okay. I can see that being quite fun. I mean, an early farming sim, but with more modern systems and standards would be actually really, really cool. As a personal thing on that. Not saying you should do it, I'm just saying that I'd personally find that quite interesting. Okay, so let's have a look at the constructor for this. I'm smart. I'm appreciative of myself. Okay. And then I think I have a character's stats to assist with this, right? Yes. Okay. So roughly speaking, this would actually look more like, let's see. What do I want to upgrade here? It seems good enough for now. Main constructor at least. So the old constructor is, it manually does a lot of things that I shouldn't be doing manually. I should be doing in an automated fashion. One of the biggest ones is this. So this is grabbing the struct out of the array and putting it here, whereas I could just put the index and have it pull the struct when necessary. That's the one immediate thing. There's a lot of stats lying around the place as well that aren't in the correct places and are being manually set. That need to be put into this. So this is only passing through 4 stats here. Again, if we go to the thing, so this is the old stats getting passed through. This would be the new one. So there is scale, which is something that's getting set separate. There's EXE stuff here, because I think we've got EX charge but not assist. And then we've got crit as well, which crit isn't, oh no, we do have assist there, but crit isn't being set, but crit's going to be something that each character can have a different value for. It's also enables me to be able to change this faster and easier, because this is the older system, this is the newer one. This also gives me some dynamic systems that it can easily be worked with. One tip I learned over the weekend is that static typing makes your code good, at least 20% performance from floats. Yes and no, right? Like that's why I say it's easier to give a singular value to a target than transfer an entire struct and then transfer that struct again. This is where I talk to, if you understand what pointers are. This is what I'm kind of doing. GameMaker doesn't really have pointers in it, but that's what I'm kind of alleviating with this concept, is I'm approaching it as if I was doing a pointer. And pointers are significantly performance significant performance improvements if you understand them and use them correctly. They are very dangerous when you don't. But because this doesn't technically use pointers, I'm pretty safe when I do use things the way I do. Polymorphism. But yeah, it's a big weakness that GameMaker doesn't actually have a pointers system in it. There's actually more of this that I could narrow down and make more efficient. Everything's what has been learned on C++. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is GML is, I think it's C# under the hood, remembering. But I have done a lot of learning with C++. And yeah, C++ is pointers a lot and is why C++ is a really great language. I really, really like C++. I know some people might disagree with me on that statement, but you know. So this would be 0, 0, and then character stats 1. The difference is that both C# and C++ can blow up your RAM. Yeah. I mean, they do it in different ways is the thing. And there's a lot of miniature things that you need to consider when looking at the two languages. I like C++ more than C# personally. I think there's a lot of systems C# has that I feel are not as useful to me that C++ has. But I also know that those aren't like the only languages. I've worked in Python quite some time ago, also JavaScript, which I've worked in a lot of different languages. I mean, I learned Python just as it was becoming the big popular one, or a little bit before that, and now it's kind of gone back to some of the older ones again, because they've just caught up, because they're more manual in the correct ways. Again, pointers being a really, really awesome contributor. Like, I cannot stress enough how much pointers are more valuable than might immediately be seen. Have I tried some C derivatives like if or go? Not off the top of my head, no. I will admit to that. I don't think I've played around with any of those in recent. Does this need to be 1.5 or like, I'm just gonna have it as 0.3 for the moment. EX charge. This is charge. And then this would be an array. So to give an idea, this is kind of what I'm talking about. All of this data here, and a little bit more, is this. This is a big slim down on what I need to actually write as well for myself. This is the other point that I want to make. Is do not underestimate making code easier to write for yourself. Even if it takes like 10 minutes to write a system to make it easier, the 10 minutes you do there potentially saves you like an hour or two somewhere else. And that's why I changed that. I know Python, C#, C++, Java, GD script, but yeah, the GD script is the strongest in terms of I remember. See, that's the thing, is like I think the one that I'm probably most competent with at this stage would be C++. But I've had to work with C# because I believe that's what what's it? UE uses, I believe. I think no, it's C++, but it's got C# in it. It's weird. By the way, why won't you won't do the system by arrays or unions, etc.? What do you mean? Because like this is a struct, and the struct gets put into an array. So I'd like clarity on kind of what you were requesting on that info. Scroll through the struct and place the necessaries automatically. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing. No? Like, that's why these are arrays here. If I go back to the constructor, you'll see that, like, there is these getting pulled out of the arrays and put into the values automatically. I mean, stats is a great example of that. Stats is a function that is literally just a way for me to be able to track which ones go in what order easier. So it just returns it as the exact same thing. It just means I can see, oh, that is scale, that's health, that's in that order. And then here, it takes that array and it pulls it apart and puts it in the right places. And then that's why I also have this system here for dynamic allocation when necessary. To think clearly. No, it's all good, it's all good. I mean, I'm quite happy to explain things, that's kind of why. Because sometimes, I mean, hey, you could have come up with something that saved me even more time. Because, in short, these would need to be filled out. This is literally what a character would be. I could do this all like this. Pretty much. In comparison to this. Like, basically turned these into stuff similar to that. What's your opinion on the HoloLive X dodges? I've seen somebody did a community letter on Holo Reddit. Pretty neat. Oh yeah, no, it was really awesome. I watched a few of the clips and like things that people have posted about it, and it looked really, really awesome. I'm glad that the event went well and was received pretty fucking phenomenally. There was a few people obviously here and there that are complaining, but like vocal minorities in that case. The overwhelming opinion I heard was pretty positive. I think that's fucking awesome. I genuinely think that's really, really cool. So super glad that worked out for them. Like genuinely, and I'm hoping this opens up more channels for this, where like there can be more collaborations in spaces that might not be immediately clear. I mean, I know recently Yagu had like basically his dream come true and I'm forgetting their name, but the idol group he basically wanted to mimic actually collaborated with his with some Hololive idols in like a thing, and that must have been awesome for him, and I'm super glad that got to happen. I can't remember the idol group though that it was off the top of my head, and I do apologize for that. I feel quite bad. Said by the sports superfan equals guru jump scare on your match leaderboard screen. Yeah, like it's because I think that was the Reddit post, right? Is that they basically said like they'd never seen it more energized and more exciting time and everything like that. And it's like, don't even know who the fuck this is on the screen, but to the random ass shark girl, anime girl, like thank you. And I was like, that's exactly what I had hoped for that sort of thing. That went really, really well. To be fair, there's all sorts of stuff going on at the moment, across the board in a lot of different areas, so that's always an interesting time. We're seeing more and more collaborations, and I'm glad. I'm just really glad that that's happening. Yes, Cap. Fuck off. But yeah, been really interesting to see. How do I want to rework this part is the question. Got back into learning how to draw. Also got into other things like Blender again, maybe 3D VTubing. Oh god. I don't know if I could recommend that. That sounds like a lot of resources from my experience, from what I've heard. And there's also complications around some of that stuff. But, I mean, if you're willing, go right ahead. Does also seem quite fun. I mean, one day I'll have a model or something done, finally. This is, okay, again, this is my problem, is that, like, I get some free time, I come up with an idea, all my free time disappears, and I just work hard as fuck on doing shit like this, like these reworks and changes. And then I'm like, shit, I didn't fucking spend that free time doing something else that I would also like to do, like working on a model. And it's still just sitting there in like a fucking closet, part done. One day, I swear. My cat is bugging me, if you're wondering why I'm like looking down to the side, and I do apologize. But he wants on my lap, I don't want him on my lap. I kind of need a bit of a break. Okay, so how do I want to actually approach these moving forward? I might as well just design them inside of this. I don't see a reason why I shouldn't. For now, I've been recording fine, pretty nice FPS, but the community, ugh. And as for the game, I'll record as a VTuber, history of FPS or racing game, simulator and yeah. That'd be interesting. I mean, I still am getting through my editing backlog, and I'm hoping that I'm ready to go next month. So I have like a good month or so in advance. That's the big thing. I've concluded I'm just not going to bother with shorts or anything like that until I've guaranteed gotten that done. Put a struct inside a struct if you have too much to scroll through. I mean, that's the point. This is another constructors, and I'm just trying to figure out how I want to handle. The thing is, I'm probably just going to manually make them here instead of like maybe referencing them, just because it's probably better to just have them there. I'm just figuring out as well, because this is, again, this is the old scheme that we had back when we were doing things more manually, and didn't have constructors. This needs to get converted to this system. So it's it is a little bit of work that needs to be done. Maybe make some kind of automatic sorter. Well, it's because the problem is that the terms have changed, is the big thing. I can't just transfer stuff over easily. It's just easier enough to do this part manually in the code, just 'cause it's not wasting my time, basically. It just takes time to do. I don't want to use them. Yes, cars would be easier to make, but at least I know where wheels go in that manual way, for example. Well, see, that's the thing, is a constructor is what you have at a factory for making a car. You can make a car manually in your garage, sure. But not only can I need to spend the extra time to make the factory, and you could probably have made your first car in that time. But it means that if I'm wanting to make 100 cars, I easily beat you in speed. And that's the point of a constructor. You have to see it that way. Just need to learn them. Honestly, it is a bit of a learning curve, but they're very worth it. Because it's just data storage. It's imagine an array, but you set the names for the locations. That's the biggest difference. Instead of having an index for the location, you're having a name for it. So you can actually better figure it out and read it. Like, hell, I think the enemies ones are better, right? Yeah. This is a great example. So this is an enemy. Enemy struct. So this is what every enemy is going to get constructed via. I put in their name, I put in their sprite, I put in their object. Which, I don't know if I really need the object anymore, but hey. Then I put in an array for health. It has base health, health multiplier, and then multiplier for time and for level. So the player level. Then their armor, then their damage, speed, and all that. And then I basically take that and yeah, here we go. Then I take the enemy and I just take all of the stuff from the struct and put it in the locations. See? Struct, name, struct, sprite. Their max health is using a function that scales the values. So it takes in the health, the multiplier, and all that. I could probably change this to be much easier. But then, yes, this is stat, scale, enemy. Do we have that? Where's that function? It's probably somewhere. Oh, there it is, yeah. So it's a bunch of equations, figuring out how I do my multipliers. Try simpler arrays for the values and note somewhere that X value goes into 0 position. Oh, how is that any different than what I'm doing right here? Health is turned into an array of 3. And this means I could just pull the base health if I wanted, very easily. I could turn this into the health into an array thing held here, but it's still a struct. That would hold it. It's easy enough. Optimization. I mean, yeah, like that's the argument I have here, is the only optimization I could have to this is that I pass through a thing, and then I'd have to do a lot of error checking based on that. No, I do know what I'm doing with optimization. Again, like I've spent a lot of time in my degree learning this stuff. Yeah, sure, I'm taking a break from the degree, but it doesn't stop the fact that like this is kind of why this game has taken as long as it has, is because it's gone from, again, going back to, where is it, the player character, it's gone from systems that look like this to systems that look like this. This is drier code, and that's the benefit it has. SP and not feather icon. Alright, because I don't think this actually has the, yeah, it's just got a thing. Sure, and I'm sure I know the secret to tire grip formula here. But that is the one thing that I will say with this, is like, another benefit I have here. So this is where I can pass through objects. I don't need to basically do that anymore unless I really, really think I need to make something manually. But I have it there, in case I need it, as a security measure. Because if we go to the player constructors, I believe that's under there. Skill constructor 1. Let's see, where is it? Sure, it's in here, right? Yeah, it's got a default to weapon parent. So if I don't pass something through, it'll pass through weapon parent, and it will just give me weapon parent as a default. Same with the SP feather icon. If I don't pass through any sprites, it will just give me the icon that I want, the default testing. Like, this looks long and spooky of a like set of variables to pass through, but like that's the point, is by doing what I've done, all of this is now in a system that I'm like, if I don't want to fill it out, I don't fill it out and it's done. I don't need to worry about it. Kind of think of it as a list and I just write in where I want to. And it will fill out the rest for me. That's the beauty of a constructor like this. Value array, so how is this done again? I think is it just an array? And then I need to make sure I have this done in the correct format, so I need to go pull up weapons. But yeah, like here's a good example. This is what this new skill constructor looks like. And it has all these cool fucking fancy parts to it, if I want to use them. And several parts of it that I don't have to. It's all about making what you need to use and then also enabling anything you might need to use. No cat, not on my lap. Okay, so this one doesn't have any damage, has an area, doesn't have a speed, doesn't have an amount, does it have a cooldown? Technically it would. Let's see. There's also another adjustment that I do need to have at some point to these. And it's going to take a while to implement, but it is one that I'm going to have to do nonetheless. Because yeah, again, it's default positionings. That's why I've got this listed out the way I do. Because it means I can use it easy in the future. So what are the values here that we've got? So that's the slow amount. Seems I use the same value for the damage amp, maybe? Or I hard code that value and I need to change that. Been organizing story for a future FPS game, a military thriller so good that it spans from 1950s to 2045. Oh god. And struct and constructors come from C++, yes. That's why I'm more comfortable with them, because I've worked with C++ a lot. They're very, very valuable. And they're very, very good to use. But I'm not one to dispute that they do take a bit of time and effort to learn. Also, yes, hello Max. Hope all's going well for you. I think it's, yeah, level up array. This will be... I think it's that. No, it's area that's the only thing that's getting increased. Then I don't think any of the other stuff needs to be filled out, right? Stagnant, remove type, hit type, crit point. Nope, none of that needs to be changed. Okay. So I just need to actually add the function in, which is technically it's an array. And the function is over here. Oh god. Gonna have to potentially rework some of this. We'll see. Ability value 1. At work, very bored. Fair. Fair. Okay. Annoying some people over the, yeah. We need to optimize everything. Everything already done, nothing left to modify. Yeah. I mean, like, that's the thing, is I'm optimizing all of these systems, that's great, but doesn't mean that these base systems are not fucked to the nth degree, because they're just old. Sprite's fine. Yeah, so I manually do the damage amp. Cat, please. Slow effect is value 5. Oops. The Kiwi farmer in the chamber of the interwebs. Oh god. This is like a terrible fucking movie. The worst part is, I know Kiwi film director. I actually know a few Kiwi film directors that could actually have that, get that done, and it would be fucking horrendous, and it would be funny. It's because it's Kiwi humor. Could always hit up fucking my mate. I think he's working on a project at the moment though. I haven't actually chatted with him in a bit. I should get a hold of him. Oh, Max, did you see my cool news from yesterday? So I'm in a much better mood since yesterday morning. Also, the weird news from this morning where the IDF fucking liked one of my tweets. I was not prepared to see the Immune Deficiency Foundation like one of my tweets. That caught me a bit off guard. They're awesome people, though. They're very, very awesome people. Some more optimizations will be done. Fuck you. Okay, so that should actually work perfectly fine. Actually, no, don't I need to put object 0 and sprite 0, I think. And then there's technically more that I need to actually add here, but... Is this the Twitter you talk of? I cannot believe that the feds use it publicly too. Yeah. Dude, I love Twitter. It's fun. Until I scroll too far and see like some random ass shit. It's a good source of getting some kind of up-to-date information. You just need to be able to sort through it correctly and realize where to read and where not to read. And also curate your fucking stuff on it so you don't see stuff you don't want to see and don't get like into rage situations where you look at something and you respond to something ragefully. I just avoid shit that I don't like. And if it's news related, I actually go research instead of just take someone's opinion for it, surprisingly. It's a magical thing. I love the vibrant government. I really don't like government at the moment. Both US and New Zealand are fucking up massively, and it's horrendous. The world's on its fucking axis at this point, I swear. Or off its axis, that's the word I was looking for. I was forgetting. Oh yeah, fucking, that's right, we were talking about, over the weekend as well, TennoCon happened, Warframe's, convention, showed off a bunch of cool stuff, that was awesome. I'm a little sad I forgot about it until, like, TennoCon actually, like, the actual game dev stuff happened, because then I missed out on getting a skin, which is an AK-47, basically, for your fucking guns. I thought that would just be really funny. But yeah, no, the best part of the upcoming stuff in Warframe is the genocidal space ninjas get to kill fucking boy bands. Let's go. If I could ever convince someone to play Warframe, it's going to be via this coming update where you get to kill a boy band. with like basically military grade munitions. Basically military grade. It's fucking war crimes I run around with. So yeah, no, that's gonna be fun. I'm excited. Oh god. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. So, by the way, just to show why this is kind of awesome that I've done this. This may look like a lot of text to scroll through, but I can just do this. And wow, would you look at that? It's a really small little bit of code. Everyone is just like on their wallpaper in terms of government. Volcano erupting in the distance across the sea and the MC chilling on the beach. Yeah. It is definitely... yeah. It really does kind of feel like that at the moment. Whoops, I didn't copy this. Yeah, I've got no high hopes for what's going on at the moment. Things do be wilding, as they say. Yes, Cat, I know that you're there. I just don't want you on my lap at the moment. Is that such a fucking horrendous act in your eyes? Especially when you slap EU citizens looking at current in the... yeah. I mean, like, the only thing I know about EU politics is that Chris Broad went and saw the fucking king the other day. That was kind of funny. I know there's a bit more than that going on at the moment, mind you, but that was one of the things that I remember the best in recent times. Which I just find funny. So this is one of those times I might make it objects. We'll see. So it might just make this easier to do by a significant margin. Oh, you know what I fucking watched last night? It was horrendous as fuck. It was the movie that came out last year, the Winnie the Pooh horror movie. Holy shit, that, like, you know what the biggest mistake of that movie was? They forgot to hire actors. Like, even, I had no drama students that could have done better than what the fuck that was. It was just, oh my god, the camera work, the fucking everything to it was just bad. What part of no do you... No. Unhook your claw and go back on the floor. You twat. Absolutely livid. But yeah, no, it's... oh my god. So silly. So silly. It was just... the worst part is there's a second one that came out this year. Would you believe? Because I think, like, the movie ends with Christopher Robinson surviving, and so does Pooh, but I think Piglet's dead. Maybe. We don't, not sure. We just saw his head caved in. I don't know if that kills them. Yeah, explain that. Just explain that to someone. Heal amount, duration, chance of drop. I actually hate it so much. Ah! Oops. Yeah. I mean, there's the stuff in France that's interesting at the moment for politics, but I don't want to get too political at all. Duration. I think it's 5, isn't it? Yeah. And then, draw. Oops. Draw. Objective is 1. Okay. And then the level up array. What is getting improved? The heal amount and the damage buff. This is by 1 and this is by 0.1. Yes. And then none of that matters. Oy, oy, oy. All right. So this is the function. I'm not going to delete the old ones yet because there's just not a point in removing them until I've guaranteed everything's moved correctly. So this is the heal amount, so it's value 5. Then this is the damage buff, so this is value 6. This is the duration, so it's value 7. This is value 6. Where is the odds for these? Done. chance 5. Okay, so the chance is not set inside the thing. So let's actually set it here so we can set it better. So what are we at now? 6, 7, it's 8? Yeah, it's value 8. Fuck no. France, petrol too expensive. Farmers blocked roads because some, yeah. Getting to pull it, yeah. No, it is difficult when you got like some stuff. Politics is something that I think it's good to be passionate about. But not to an extent that you create issues for other people. That's always the biggest issue I've seen with some people, is that they'll just go, no, I need to make sure you agree with me. It's like, no, it's cool to debate. Play around with ideas. Just sometimes what I do is, and I know this is something that a few people I know don't like, is like, I'll admit I can disagree with something, but I might not have an answer. And that's my way of saying that I would like there to be an effort made to construct an argument around that answer. And I can give my understanding and all that, but I'm not an expert in that field. Not to the extent that you become a politician. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the big thing, right? Is, like, I've played around in politics, actually, like, properly. A little bit. In terms of, like, local politics and things like that. And it's just... It's to the point that it's okay to just play around with stuff and talk with people. Do not be discouraged from that. Just acknowledge that some people don't want to talk about that, or some people aren't going to share your views, and you need to be willing to talk with them about that. Be willing to listen, because one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people get is that idea that, like, no, I'm right, and I will always believe that I am right in this same way. It's like, no, your opinion will change, and it's okay to change. My opinion's changed. In fact, there's a few things my opinion's changed about that I said pretty absolutely early on in my streaming, and they've very much changed now, and I would still say them pretty absolutely, but they're different opinions now. It's fine. And I'm similar in these terms. I'm just here to discuss, not to argue, you know? Yeah. I respect their stands and their switch acts who will leave me alone. Like, it's, yeah, at the end of the day, it's perfectly fine to have your own opinion and formulate one. If your opinion's not per se your own, but you're following another person, okay, but like, why? What, is there a reason that resonates with you? Is it because, and I mean, my only argument is to be well informed of your own opinion, where immediately the thing that comes to mind is like the issue of flat earthers, or a flat earth argument. If you believe that truly, sure, but like, at what point in time, where's your evidence to it? It's like, oh, it's visually it doesn't look like it's that. It's like, well, by your same argument, I'd be able to say New York from the East Coast, or America in general. I can't. Okay, so what next? Like, the horizon line isn't straight. You can get political until it's not Twitter. If you, God, yeah, no, like, that's the other thing. Don't try and get political on Twitter. It never goes well for anyone involved. It's just not worth it. Again, it's that problem of people aren't going to listen to you if you're trying to correct them. And people are even less likely to listen to you when they don't have to. Twitter is not a forum. Twitter is a fucking post-it note board, and they can turn up and write whatever the fuck they want. They just have, like, you gotta work with it like that. And sometimes they'll believe it, sometimes they won't. Sometimes they're just fucking with you, and it's fine. That's why you shouldn't take shit seriously. And take everything with a fucking grain of salt when you're perusing Twitter. Okay, so for now I'm going to push through these objects. Twitter is a like/dopamine generator. I don't know if I'd quite agree with that. That's not an inaccurate argument to be made. But I don't think it's quite right. Again, it's that argument of, I think there's a lot more to it, personally. But I don't know if I can well explain it without like sitting there and like really thinking it through. Thinking through an answer. It's a social media platform that also just happens to post news. It's very much like Facebook. The difference is that it's designed for speed, which is what is wanted more in the modern day. Even R34 fans are more literate than most Twitter users. I will disagree with that, and that is purely because it's a different type of speech, different type of language that's used on Twitter. They'll use shorthand quite often to get their point across faster and easier, because there is a much greater limit to what can be said. When you've got a limit on how many words you can put in at a given time, people become more conscious of that and potentially write things faster and with less reasoning and evidence and understanding and available in it. Because of that. And it's not a fault of the person, it's a fault of the platform, if anything. That's my belief on the matter, at the least. And that's somewhat founded in academic articles. There's not been a lot of research done around that field, though, admittedly. There's an argument right there that there should be. The effects of social media on a person. Sprite array. I know that, but somehow, but you know, guys, what do I think? Twitter has some bad apples in it. Some just W and plus. Yeah. I mean, like, that's why I say, like, I don't disagree with the sentiment that there's a lot of issues over there. There's a lot of issues. And those issues are systemic. There needs to be a lot of work done to even rectify most of them, because just how fucked that all is. Okay, so let's pull this. So number of pulses would be amount. Timer is definitely a unique value. Damage is not. And slow is. And area can just be 1, because there's no thing for it. I don't know. I mean, like, I could go into a whole debate cycle over social media stuff and like problems with it I have personally, and why I find it fascinating certain people defend certain parts of it. What's with the notion, values, keys? Oh, those? That's literally comments telling me what they are. And just reminding me. I could do this better, but it's just a guarantee way I can do things. There's actually a very simple argument I could make to making a function for this to make it more memorable, but this is what I'll do for now. It just denotes the positioning of the stuff, and it reminds me every time I look at it. Because it's easier to do it this way. For this specific case. Yes, finally something to read. Well, I mean... yeah, but that's why I say, like, if we go back to level up array, or not level up array, something else that's a better example for that. New skills constructor. I don't know how well you can see it, but at the bottom of this thing, this here, tells me all of the things I need to put in. All of the insert values. So here's name, function, sprite array, object array, so I know the order in what everything goes in. And that's why I was saying earlier for character stats, this is great, because it tells me scale, health, walk speed, all that, so I can see what needs to go where easy. I could easily do something like that for the values as well. And I can actually make it so it can be dynamically shaped, if must be, but this is easy enough for me. For now. I might change that eventually. We'll see. Because otherwise it would just be value 0, value 1, and all that sort of stuff, because that's what they're actually listed as in the code. This is value 0, value 1, value 2, value 3, and then as this goes on, it will just continue the number increasing. I think I've got value 9 as the highest I've gotten to in a list, in one of the arrays. Because I want to try and refrain from getting the arrays to go too long, if I possibly can. I'll leave that as is, but there's some changes I could make to that. And then this would be the last one. And then this would be theoretically, outside of moving some stuff around, this would be the entire new character thing done out. So copy this. So amount is 2. Timer is that. Slow is the same. Damage is the same. So it's just a lower amount and a higher cooldown, I think. Okay, so more or less, if I just minimize these, this is what the new player would look like. A new player constructor. This should be all functioning, outside of some changes that will need to be made. Versus this. Now, arguably you could make a statement this looks longer. It's not. It's because I've broken this down into lines. It's actually a lot less code that's going into this, and overall is much nicer. At least in my opinion. Much easier to read and much easier to fill out, which is an important aspect. Your code should be readable, not just efficient. Yesterday I had a marathon of shitpost compilations from favorite creators. Oh god. Where the narrator lectures you for trying to look on. Yeah. Just put a vine boom. Oh god. I mean, I gotta say, Slay the Princess was a very cool game, and I'm glad that came out. And I'm like, that's just another like big raising moment for like indie games, is just showing like how it's actually really easy to make games. A lot easier than people make it out to be. It's really easy to make really good games. That's the big thing. You don't need too much. You just need like art assets and the ability to do some basic programming. Do an analysis on the game, maybe if you like it. I mean, I've done an analysis on it, but it's a private analysis. It's the same with Swarm. There's like I've got an analysis done of it, and it's written up somewhere. I've just not shown it. I do that with just about everything I play. I sit down after playing it for a period of time that I think I can formulate a concrete kind of answer, or at least at the time, and I write down my opinions. I write down my learnings, I write down all that stuff. So I best keep moving forward with my thoughts, formulating my ideas based on that. It's good and bad. It means that I get ultra, like, hugely reviewy, and I do think that becomes a problem. Right, so now I can replace all of this with that. You could do some good views for... Yeah, I mean, I could do like actual videos around it. That has been a consideration I've had in the past. Of like going into that sort of stuff. I don't know if I will though. And admittedly, I will say that the reasoning is pure and simply, I don't know if I can be asked doing the editing for it. It's just such a long amount of time that goes into some of those videos for me. And that's genuinely the only rationale. That's why I was doing the shorts that I was at one point, right? Like the short, like doing a quick topic in a short. Even those took hours to do, and those were like not even a full minute of a video. And the idea of doing a longer discussion topic has been something I'd love to do, but that's why I do like, I kind of do that on the streams. So I try and do my analysis, I discuss it that way, go through it with people, open up the floor to anyone else that wants to put forward their opinion, and maybe that changes my answer. Alright, there we go. So now I need to test this in-game. So I don't think any of this should be wrong, but I want to see if, oh, the weapon won't work. Because the weapon's not been set up correctly. So it should be, it should crash if I try and play as Vox right now. That's fine. I just won't, okay. I won't be able to test it yet. I mean, I could just change these to the indexes and then create a system to handle the indexing correctly. It probably would be the smart thing to do, but I don't know if I could be asked at the moment, because again, definitely on that tired side. Kind of half tempted to have like a snooze this afternoon. Though I should probably get to doing some stuff Riz the Princess, oh god. I might have a look after stream. Don't I have links enabled? I think they are on YouTube. I don't think there's an auto mod or anything. So, if that's changed... Oh, God, I'm actually feeling really tired. But damn. Cat curled up behind me, nice and happy. Oh, you know one thing I do want to speak on though for a moment. I know this might be spoilers for some people, so I'll only speak on it briefly. But the new VTuber anime, I've been watching it as it comes out. The episode came out yesterday. Oh my god, I fucking love that show so much. The fucking every arc within an episode is just great. It's so funny, it's so enjoyable, and sometimes it's like it's got fairly unique moments in it as well. And for someone like myself that has watched a lot of VTubers, has listened to a lot of their discussions and listened to other people's discussions around that sort of environment, what it's like in the industry and all that, it's actually an incredibly fun series for understanding that. Because there's jokes in it that's like, oh yeah, no, that's about right. Though one of the jokes in it that broke me the most is she went over to one of her gen mates, and she brought they decided to have some dinner. She brought out one of the beers that she's well known for drinking. It's like, oh, I didn't know you had this. It's like, oh no, I don't. I'm more of this kind of alcohol. It's like, why do you have this then? And it's like, oh, well, it's because the company literally sent me a message saying I needed to stock it. I fucking loved that moment so much. It's so good. Yeah, it's on point. And then they did like a offline collab and it was really funny. VTuber anime mango is poison for mind. Shitpost better? Nah, it's fucking great. The VTuber anime is insanely good. It's so fun. They've nailed most of the stuff that I understand of their field, and I've not heard any like massive complaints from the VTubers as well, so I'm pretty sure they're all sitting there like, yeah, that's about right. It definitely is just great. I can love it. It's very fun. It's one of the few series I'm watching as it's coming out. I did watch finally the second season of one series I was watching, which is is it The Duke of Death and His Maid? Yeah, The Duke of Death and His Maid, that one. Yeah, so there was like the third season of it came out like a season or two ago. So I decided to finally watch through like the first two seasons. It's pretty interesting. Actually plays around with the concept that I quite like, but it's also quite slow. I don't know. It's fun. But yes, no, VTuber anime, good. First 3 episodes so far have been a like it's a struggle to like not laugh, like belt out a laugh. It's so fucking fun. I just wish I had more people I could chat with about it. But it's just, there's also like moments where it will show the chat, and the chat, it's just like, yeah, no, that's about right. I think one of the ones that my friends posted is like, yeah, no, there's literally chatters that are like, woof, tease me more, mistress. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen that in chat. I've seen that in the VTuber chat a few times. Oh my god, it's such a fucking fun series. Still need to complete reading Gunsmith Cats. What the fuck is Gunsmith Cats? I don't think I've heard of this. Wait, I need to look this shit up. You can't just drop the name Gunsmith Cats and not pique my interest. The Japanese manga, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this doesn't look like it's actual cats making guns. I'm slightly disappointed. Skill bounty hunter. Run Gunsmith Cats, a firearms store. Oh, I wanted actual cats that made guns. I'm disappointed. Girls, guns, cars. It's to me, it sounds a little bit like that kind of stem of Black Lagoon, which I did love Black Lagoon. So kind of that like crime and grime sort of stuff. On my list too. I do recommend Black Lagoon. It is a very fun older series. It definitely has aged and has its moments, but no, I give it credit where credit's due. It's fun. I watched that like a good while ago. I say good while ago. Fuck, how long ago did I watch that? Oh, I hate that I can think in decades. Ah! I hate that, like, being at the point of, like, your life where, like, you have to start thinking, it's like, oh yeah, that happened, like, a decade or two ago, and it's like, I don't like that. Gun Gale Online, SAO spinoff. Oh, I know about that one. I've never actually watched it. I heard a lot of positivity around it because it did. I saw some clips from it and it looked alright. Admittedly, it just kind of, at the time, I was busy with other stuff, flew under my radar, and I've never really had the opportunity to go back for it. It's very difficult for me to catch up with series that are like that long ago now, unless a new season comes in, and then I can kind of justify it. Because, like, if I watch an anime, I typically just watch it all at once, if I can. I know there's 2 seasons of the GGO series. I'm pretty sure there was 2 seasons. I mean, to be fair, I've also still not finished Alicization for SAO. Because I got really fucking bored after the other dude dies. I can't remember his name. But he comes back, apparently, I think, is what I heard. I don't know. It's the blonde Kirito. Like, that dude in the Alicization arc, when he died, like, the story just got so boring to me because it was interesting having the dynamic of those two. It wasn't great, mind you, but it was definitely better than it had been for a while. Admittedly, that's something I will say, is I think the worst part of SAO is Kirito. Like, genuinely. After the first Ironcrad, I can't remember his name. The first arc. I don't think Kirito was that interesting to follow anymore. I think the Alfheim arc was not that interesting. Gungale was an interesting concept, but I think again it was marred by a story following Kirito. And then with the anime at least, the second half of kind of the second season is basically a bunch of short stories about all of the other characters as well. And I stand by that Asuna story where she is with the cancer girl. Fucking awesome. I liked that one. SAO as a whole is feeling bigger than One Piece for you. Or an open as bottomless bit. I mean, fair. If something doesn't interest you, you don't have to watch it. I'm just speaking from kind of experience on this stuff. If you do want to watch SAO, I would recommend watching the abridged because it basically follows the main storylines, except makes Kirito actually quite an interesting character and makes Asuna a lot more of an interesting character in the early stuff. And I think they've nearly finished or have finished the Alfheim arc in the abridged. They're pretty close, I'm pretty sure. And once that's done, I would highly recommend watching through it. But it's the abridged is the correct way to watch SAO now. Because I want to stress, the reason why the abridged of SAO is so good is because it's people that really loved the original stuff, but just wanted it to be better. It's a love letter and a fanfic at the same time, kind of thing. And I give them credit for that. I mean, it's the same argument I make with Hellsing Ultimate, right? Is don't watch Hellsing Ultimate, watch the abridged for it, because that was phenomenal. I know, these VR... I mean, I've said this before, but, like, people underestimate how easy it would be to make something like SAO. Like, an actual, real, the Sword Art Online game. With the deep dive VR headset systems. It's not actually that hard. It's just a time and resource thing. As someone that has done research in that field, it's genuinely not that difficult. People are actually starting to make stuff at home to mimic some of these things in somewhat of a regard. So yeah, no, SAO or Ready Player One, those sorts of things, they're actually not as far out as people may perceive them to be. Free real estate. Yeah. I mean, I can actually tell you probably what I would need budgeted for it to actually do it. Because again, I worked with one of the universities I went to, the previous one. I worked with its science division to test something. And that was kind of what was getting tested. And Ready Player One equal Web3. What? Okay. But yeah, like I was doing some testing around that, so I do kind of actually know how much it would cost to at least make the prototyping of it. And I had an offer to do it, but I never committed to it, and I've disappointed in myself ever since. But also, I'm glad I didn't because of who was going to sponsor it. I'm not going to go into that because of security reasons, but point is that it's not actually as hard as people think it is. It is just you need to kind of have a bit of the know-how in the right fields. Like I've done psychology, I've done software engineering, and I've done game development. It's actually, I'm pretty much sitting in the perfect spot for it. Like, we already have these metaverses. Be a pretty cool concept, Ready Player One type software. I mean, I've got mixed feelings on it. If okay, this sounds really fun. So I've analyzed Ready Player One, like the Oasis, I believe it's what it's called, a few times, and it's interesting to think about if that would be a good game or not. I don't think it would be. There's aspects to it that would be good, but it's basically like just a slightly modified version of VR chat, and while VR chat's really popular, I would never see it to the same extent that Ready Player One's Oasis ever obtained. Even if you had some of these systems, you would need to do way, way more than what they did to enable its power for it. At least we got Roblox. Oh god. But yeah, it's, again, this is why I say, like, I analyze the weirdest things sometimes because I'm like, would this work? Is this possible? I mean, the biggest mistake a lot of people have with those sorts of things is, like, at this current state in time, it's actually not even per se the in-person hardware that would be the problem. It's actually the internet that would be. Because the amount of data they would need to transfer per household on a large scale is not something we're currently set up for. It's actually probably one of the biggest bottlenecks that I can think of. Because the amount of... If you understand how a multiplayer game is made, you'll understand very quickly that, like, the amount of data that needs to transfer between point A and point B, you need to minimize as much as possible. When you're talking about VR chat, there's a reason why VR chat has a lot of, like, pain on its servers and a lot of things like that. It has a lot of problems. To upscale that to the degree that would be necessary is difficult. But making one company go around a series of video games like SAO Universe isn't impossible. Like, not user-created content per se. Yes, I actually... Okay, this is where I stand by. I genuinely believe Sword Art Online would be a better game than the Oasis. It would get a lot more popularity than the Oasis would. At least initially. Long term, the Oasis would probably survive, but it would never grow to the same extent that SAO would ever be at a peak. And SAO would have better room to expand and establish new things in it. Because then it would also be a constructed environment. Again, that's why, like, I talked to the reworked doing the map. Right? Oasis got Overwatch. Yeah, it definitely hurts it a bit. But, like, that's why I say, like, I want to have the maps now constructed instead of kind of like the randomly generating infinite world, is because it means I can take more effort in designing it and crafting it in a way that makes it better and more enjoyable. The player experience is therefore improved, and that's what I want to do. I want to double check something. So those come in as... Okay. then where does that get used? I'll have a look at it later. I think I'm kind of winding down because most of the stuff that I want to work on is just going to be time consuming, so we might, because there's a lot of other little mini reworks I'm realizing I forgot to do to make this faster and easier, and I'll work on those in between now and next week, I think. Again, I'm also really tired. I cannot stress enough. Sure, it's like the morning, but like I'm not feeling great today. I'm surprised at how tired I am. I guess it was just kind of a bit of a long day and long weekend. So I might call it here. Let's see. By the way, tomorrow next stream, yeah. Again, I have a schedule on the channel and on Twitter if you're so interested in what I am doing. So feel free to check those out. If you kind of want to know where everything is at and what I am doing. It's a good source of info. Listen, well, I understand going and reading is difficult. Alright, so with that all being the case though, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for stopping by. You're awesome, stay awesome, and I hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye-bye.